Hi, Professor. Hi, class. My name is Shannon Waits, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys this semester. So, a little bit about me. My current geographic location is in a town called Dunedin, Florida. If you're not familiar with it, if you're familiar with Clearwater, Florida, or St. Petersburg, or Tampa, Florida, or even Tarpon Springs, we're kind of nestled like little pigs in a blanket, kind of around those area. While a lot of people don't know of us, we're actually pretty high in tourism. Our downtown does quite a bit activities where they close everything down and very pedestrian friendly throughout the year. And we're really close to a lot of beaches as well as Tampa activities. I'm an hour and a half from Disney World. So we're a nice place to kind of centrally go and explore this area of Florida. It is definitely a really beautiful place to live. So if you've never visited here, put it on your list. My current environment is I live in a home. This was actually my parents' home, and when they decided to move, they sold it to me, and so my family and I moved in here. I have 3 children and my husband, and we have 2 dogs, 2 mini Aussies. We are now officially empty nesters. Yay! Our youngest has moved out, and we're really proud of them and enjoying this new phase of our life together. The area that I live in is definitely middle class, sometimes middle, maybe a little bit upper middle class. A lot of families, single people, people who definitely like that kind of outside environment. I mean, heck, my area allows you to drive golf carts around on the roads. So the only really kind of disappointing thing about where I live is as this influx of tourism and people wanting to move into our area has increased over the years. They're starting to do away with some of the lower income housing and some of the subsidy housing, and they're now turning them into condos and townhomes, definitely on the pricier side, which is kind of pushing out some of the different socioeconomic groups, which is a little disappointing. And hopefully, I know other people in the area are starting to express concerns about that. So hopefully something that is something we as a community we'll start addressing and making sure that there are a lot of different options for everybody who choose to reside here. 2 elements of my current social environment that most influence you. I say one of the largest is I used to teach, and I taught in the public school systems in an EBD program, or emotionally behaviorally disturbed. So we worked with a population of children that had a lot of mental health issues, that had a lot of behavioral issues, and a lot of it stemmed from early childhood trauma. Trauma-informed care was something that I really focused on in that time, and that work has definitely spearheaded me throughout the rest of my career, including what I'm doing now and going back to school and kind of where I want to go on my educational path. I say another area that in my environment that has definitely is focusing on where I'm at is the ability to kind of affect change. I do a lot of advocacy work for GLBT community. I do advocacy work for mental health, and I've noticed a lot of groups, even groups that tend to want to help some of their policies and procedures. I just don't understand. I don't understand how that does inclusion, how that helps take away stereotypes. And so for me, kind of my past profession and my current hopes and my education, I think is wanting to blend that and definitely continue with advocacy, working with these different populations, especially families and young families that have potential risk factors for their children and for their family structure as all. But hopefully maybe grow to some form of executive level where I can be a part of the modeling and the policies and the procedures. I found in some of the areas, people that are running and making decisions don't even have social worker degrees, or they're not in that environment. That was a really frustrating part when I was teaching, was running into that a lot of people making rules that in policy that didn't have a lot of educational experience. And I've kind of seen that flip over on the social work side. So the last one is how the 2 most, how it impacts you. And I think for me, currently right now, actually I'm really excited. I'm working for a pilot program for the company that I work with, the nonprofit. And they've done a lot of studies for students who have caused crimes, school shootings, those type of real dangerous behaviors. And they've done a lot of study on them and their families and kind of worked the timeline back. And one of the common threads, not should be shock to any of us, was that a lot of these children had trauma and had at-risk moments when they were really young, but because of their age, they were kind of passed on and not really focused on. And so I'm part of a team of 3 that's targeted one specific school in St. Petersburg. And so we're working with children from kindergarten through 2nd grade who are already starting to demonstrate at-risk behaviors. Not saying they're going to do something, but just saying that what they're doing now is kind of showing on this pattern. And so we're going into the homes, we're working with the families, we're setting them up with services if they have needs, we're working on behavioral plans, positive reinforcement, working with the teachers to help the teachers, change the way they run their classrooms for behavioral management, and kind of doing this holistic, all-inclusive approach. So for me, that is kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm really, really excited about it. And I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me that maybe wants to kind of see this through on a longer and focus on these at-risk kids in the school system and what we can do to prevent some of the crime and the acts that we're seeing in the high school world. So I don't really know. I mean, but I know this is where I'm at right now, and I know this is what I'm passionate about, and we'll see what happens. So that's a little bit about me. I'm looking forward to going and seeing everybody's videos. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in class.